My name is Cole Mercer, and I rise each morning at 5 o'clock to the silent, heavy air that whispers the promise of a new day. I'm a 34-year-old man who has spent a great deal of time mastering the art of stealth. Every morning, I get out of bed, taking great care not to rouse Bianca, my wife, who is splayed out on the bed as if she were queen. And in a sense, she is, at least relative to our family. Downstairs, I put on my jeans, and the Sinclairs, old money Charleston royalty, let me in the castle. With nothing more than a plain t-shirt, I quickly gather my keys and make my way to my beloved coffee shop, situated on the ground floor. Tucked in a corner of downtown, this little cafe has exposed brick and welcoming lights. Tourists come to browse, and the folks who hang around here act as if this little shop, with its whirring espresso machine and chalkboard specials, is my entire life. They see me behind the counter, apron tied around my waist, steaming milk. Bianca's dad thinks I'm just good at wiping tables and making coffee. Despite my pleasant demeanor and steady hand, when Gregory Sinclair is in the mood to be generous, which isn't very often, his voice becomes gravelly, and he refers to me as the coffee guy. His judgment drips with disdain, like he's spitting out a nasty taste every time he mentions my name. He's a real estate king, a man who builds towers. He uses a flick of his wrist to buy allegiance, and I'm simply another guy his daughter brought home as a stray. She opted to retain her last name. I don't mind it. Not really. I've been playing this part for years now. Quiet, basic, modest. It's easier that way. People don't ask questions. They don't delve past the surface. Gregory's never puzzled over why I don't grumble about expenses, or how I keep the shop going without begging for his handouts. Bianca's never noticed the late-night calls I take in the office upstairs, or the way I slip out for errands that extend into hours. They see what they want. A guy who's good with his hands, who knows his place, who doesn't rock their perfect tiny boat. And I let them. I pour their lattes, nod at their small talk, and keep my lips sealed. It's not like I'm lying. Not quite. The shop's real enough. I love the fragrance of fresh grounds, the hiss of the steamer, the way folks soften as they take that first sip. It's mine, a piece of me I built from scratch. Yet it's not the complete narrative, not even close. See, I've got secrets. Secrets they'd never guess. The shop's simply a front. A comfy little mask I wear while the real me moves in the shadows. I own things, huge things, companies, properties, accounts they'd choke on if they knew, but I don't flaunt it. I take a banged-up vehicle to work, park it out back where no one cares to look. The nice automobiles, the ones registered under a holding company nobody's heard of, they stay tucked away in a garage across town. My assistant, a bright woman named Tara, handles the main business meetings with bankers, investors, CEOs, people who don't know my face until I want them to. I've got a system, a rhythm, and it works, because nobody suspects a thing. Why would they? I'm just Cole, the man who married up, the one they pat on the head and forget about. Gregory's too busy counting his millions to notice the way I watch him, the way I listen when he brags about his newest transaction. Bianca's too caught up in her charity luncheons and fancy gowns to see the documents I sign when she's asleep. They assume I'm little, and I let them. It's safer that way, for now. This morning, the shop's silent as I unlock the door. I flick on the lights, start the grinder, and let the ritual take over. The first customer is an older guy, a regular who likes his coffee black and his newspapers crisp. He nods at me, mumbles something about the weather, and I nod back. It's simple. This life I show them. Comfortable. Yet as I wipe down the counter, I can't stop thinking about last night. Another supper at the Sinclair mansion. Another round of Gregory's jabs. "How's the coffee game, Cole?" he had questioned, smirking over his whiskey, keeping the lights on the table, laughing. Bianca held my hand under the cloth, and I just smiled. They don't know I could buy that mansion twice over and still have enough to waste. They don't know I've been watching, waiting, letting them dig their own graves with every phrase. One day, they'll see. One day, I'll step out from behind this counter and show them who I truly am. But not yet. For now, I pour another cup, listen to the hum of the dawn, and keep my secrets near. The game's still mine to play. I stop playing. A little. I step out, my boots hitting the pavement, and tug my jacket straight. Nothing special, just a gray blazer over a white shirt. Yet it's enough. The building's sleek, all glass and steel, the kind of place Gregory, Sinclair would strut into without a second thought. Only today, he's coming to me, and he's got no idea what's waiting. I push through the front doors. The air inside is nice and clean, and the receptionist, Emma, a no-nonsense woman with a tight hairdo, looks up from her desk. "Morning, Mr. Mercer," she says, her voice smooth. Professional. I nod back. "Morning, and keep walking." My name's inscribed, in metal behind her. Cole Mercer, CEO. But most people who pass through here don't relate it to the guy in the coffee shop apron. That's how I've kept it. Until now, I'm barely established in my workplace. Huge windows, dark wood desk, a view of Charleston waking up, and when Emma buzzes me. "Mr. Sinclair's here," she says through the intercom. "Send him in," I reply, leaning back in my chair. The door swings open a minute later, and there he is. Gregory Sinclair, storming in like he controls the place. His cheeks are crimson, his tie a touch twisted. He's got that expression, rage mixed with panic, and it's almost comical how fast the king's crown is slipping. "I need to speak to your director," he growls, not even looking at me yet, his eyes darting around like he's expecting someone else. Emma's voice comes in from behind him, calm as ever. "You have an appointment with Mr. Mercer." Gregory freezes, his head turning toward her. "Mercer?" he says, like the name's a horrible flavor. "Yes," she replies, unfazed. "Mr. Cole Mercer, our CEO." She shuts the door as she leaves, and the silence strikes hard. He turns to me then, slow, like he's moving through muck. And I see it. The instant his world tilts. His face goes pale, sour milk white, and his mouth opens. But nothing comes out. I rise up, casual, and move around the desk, the loan documents in my palm. "Coffee person," he says, his voice cracking like thin ice. I stop, meet his eyes, and lay the papers down on the glass table between us. "Owner," I utter, my voice stable, calm. "And this coffee guy just declined your emergency loan." I tap the stack, the red rejected stamp glaring up at him. His jaw clenches. He doesn't move, doesn't speak, just looks at me like I'm a ghost. "Who came out of the walls? I've waited years for this. Years of his jabs, his smirks, his cappuccino cracks. And now here we are, the barista and the tycoon, and I'm the one clutching the keys." "Cole," he finally murmurs, his tone shifting softer now, like he's testing the water. "You don't understand what this means." I tilt my head, lean against the desk, and cross my arms. "I comprehend enough," I tell him. "I understand your Midtown project's a house of cards. I understand you've been struggling for cash because your investors are pulling out. And I comprehend that my bank is the only thing standing between you and a very public fall." His eyes tighten, but there's terror there, glowing beneath the bluster. "You can't do this," he says, stepping closer. "Your family—" I laugh, quiet, sharp, and that stops him cold. "Family?" I echo. "Family doesn't burn me in front of a room full of strangers. Family doesn't treat me like a stray dog," Bianca hauled in. "You've never seen me, Gregory. Not once. And now you're paying for it." He blinks, and I notice the shift. He's not used to being on this side of the table. "What do you want?" he asks, his voice low. Desperate. "An apology? Money? Name it." I shake my head. Slow. Deliberate. I don't want anything from you, I say. I've got all I need right. Here, I gesture at the office, the documents, the life I made while he was busy laughing. This isn't about revenge, it's about respect. And you've got none to provide. He stares at the denied loan docs, his hands flexing like he wants to grasp them, tear them up, make it all go away. But he can't. You're ruining me, he whispers. No, I correct him. You did that yourself. I just stopped bailing you out. I walk back to my chair, sit down, and let the silence stretch. He's still standing there. A man who spent his life towering above everyone. And now he's shrinking before my eyes. You've got 24 hours to find another lifeline, I tell him, picking up a pen like it's just another day. East Bridge is done with you. He doesn't move at first, just stares, then turns and walks out, his steps heavy, dejected. The door snaps shut, and I lean back, the weight of it all settling.